Having made her debut in Borderlands 3's third DLC, Bounty of Blood: A Fistful of Redemption, Butcher Rose is quite an intriguing character. Her family has lived on the planet of Gehenna for at least 3 generations. Her grandmother used to work for the Jacobs Corporation when they were on the planet for the project known as Endless Horizons. The intent was meant to be revolutionary. Gehenna housed a substance that came to be known as core. It's a neon green crystalline-like rock which held a surprising amount of versatility. It was the fuel that made all the ideas Jacobs came up with here come true. It was infused with the flora and fauna of the planet, mutating both of them, but also more importantly, it could be used to help with their weapons development. The beasts that were infused with core were able to be controlled to a certain extent. Interitus Regina, or the Ruiner, was meant to be the apex of bioengineered weapons. The problem came when the company realized they couldn't control the beast. They had hatched one of the eggs, but unlike the much simpler fauna, this one was too wild. Rose's grandmother figured out a way that she could rein it in, but it was far too late. Those working on Project Endless Horizons packed up and bombed everything they could hide. This Ruiner was dead, but there were other eggs. Rose's grandmother chose to stay on the planet, flipping off the cowards who left, and she was caught up in the bombs as well.
When the company shut down the facility and abandoned Gehenna, they bombed what they could and left. But my grandmother couldn't leave her work behind. When the last shuttle hit orbit, she was right there flipping at the bird and shouting, "Cowards!"
It seems the way her grandmother figured out how to control the devils was through their birth. The story is very vague about this, so I'm going to try my best to fit things in where they make sense, so keep that in mind. I think Rose's grandmother figured out by whistling a specific tune to the eggs of these devils. Once hatched, they would recognize the tune as their sort of mother and obey what they commanded.
The company claimed the Ruiner couldn't be tamed, but they were wrong. Dead wrong. My grandmother was smarter than any of those empty suits. She knew exactly how to control it. And so do I.
She passed this knowledge down to her daughter, and her daughter down to Rose.
Now you try. Not quite. Concentrate, Rose. This is important. You have to get it right. Your grandmother taught this song to me when I was a little girl. And you know what she used to say to me?
What'd she say, Mama?
This song? It just might save your life someday.
Rose, as she grew up, formed quite the hatred for the betrayal of her grandmother and sought to avenge her by proving her hypothesis was correct, that the Ruiner could be controlled. This would obviously take a few decades to come to fruition after Jacobs bombed the planet. A group of outlaws known as the Devil Riders had plundered the stolen company tech and began using it to their advantage to tame devils and the such. The Devil Riders were actually curious what it was the company had been doing, and so they tried to dig up the past, but the residents of the town wanted to leave everything behind and move on. This caused conflict and war between them, especially since a large piece of core sat in the center of their town. Obviously, Rose wound up aligning herself with the Devil Riders as their curiosities aligned. But with the knowledge her grandmother had passed down, unlike any of the Devil Riders yet, Rose didn't just ride the devils, she controlled them. By finding feisty eggs before they were hatched, she would steal a devil's egg and whistle to them, teaching it her tune so once hatched, she could command them. And it worked. A notable devil she had raised was named Toge. She joined the Devil Riders as a member initially, but quickly killed her way up the ranks. The Devil Riders follow their own code. The strong live and the weak die type. And to climb up the ranks, it involves killing those above you.
Careful, Rose. You startled my devil. What do you want?
I want what you've got.
Oh, you want to lead the Devil Riders, do you? And what makes you think they'll follow you?
Just a feeling.
Fine then, let's duel.
No thanks. Times are changing. See? The devils follow my orders now. The devil riders will too. That's right, Toge. Let's go tell the others the tragic news.
As tradition, big kills are rewarded with tattoos. The ink is infused with core, as almost everything is, which is the cause for the Devil Rider's glowing green. We learn this is tradition from one of Carson Sato's travel logs.
Killing the strong, though? Now that's how you move up. The ink, that's only for the big kills.
By the sounds of it, however, by the time Rose killed her way to command, she changed things. It seems the Devil Riders used to largely attack towns for supply raids, but now Rose started implementing killing. Obviously, at some point within her story of killing, she got the nickname Butcher Rose. She also came to be acquainted with Oleta, an old company employee who used to work with her grandmother. Rose initially goes to her for something, it's not explained, where Oleta tries to heed her a warning.
I smelled you coming a mile away, Rose.
Wasn't trying to hide it. You know why I'm here then?
I've heard you've got a way with the devils, but it won't work with the one you're after.
How do you know?
If it did, the company would still be here.
I can control it. I know it. It's in my blood.
I remember that melody. Your grandmother used to sing it while she worked, in fact. But that was a long time ago. You be careful out there, Rose. In my experience, you can't really tame a devil. Best you can do is turn its attention to something else for a time. But if it gets hungry, it'll eat you all the same.
Now in command, she eventually came to learn that the stone in the center of the town of Vestige was actually the Ruiner's egg. She wanted to get a hold of it, but since the sheriff of Vestige outlawed company tech, getting their hands on it proved quite difficult. Encounters often resulted in the exchange of iron and blood. She eventually grew too tired of this and enlisted another one of the Devil Riders, Juno, nicknamed the Hatchet, to ride in with her gang and kill the whole town.
You wanted to see me?
I did. Boys around here say that when you want bloody work done, the Hatchet's who you call. Now listen close. We're gonna make another run on the town, and I want you by my side when we do.
All right. What we going for? Got plenty of munitions, foodstuffs. Don't seem short on supplies.
Oh, this isn't a supply raid. That's the old way of doing things. I want you to take the town, and I don't expect there to be any survivors. You understand me?
That's bloody work.
I'm the butcher, and you're the hatchet. Frankly, I don't see how it was gonna be any other way.
Juno had a big problem with this. Despite her nickname, she didn't like the senseless slaughter, and so instead of going to town to kill everyone, she warned them. This prevented the downfall of Vestige and pissed off Rose immensely. She put a bounty on Juno for anyone that could kill her, plus a bonus if they could do it with her own hatchet. Unfortunately for Rose, timing couldn't have been worse. Bloodshed between the city and the Devil Riders had gone on for long enough that the sheriff of Vestige decided to put up a bounty of blood. He would pay anyone who could come in and kill the Devil Riders. And this is where the events of DLC 3 takes place. The 4 Vault Hunters come to the town and are initially greeted by Rose, not knowing who she is and vice versa. She tells them a thing or two about how things work on Gehenna and initially thinks about inviting them to her gang. But the Devil Riders don't take anyone who's searching for a payday. Toge winds up getting injured, so she puts him down and instead takes a new egg to hatch. She later appears in town with her gang in tow, causing a ruckus where she has a standoff with the sheriff and wins. She and the rest of the Devil Riders manage to use some old company tech to teleport the egg back to the facility so she can hatch it. She also takes a man only referred to as the Wanderer prisoner due to his musical talents. She has him play her whistle tune on the guitar in front of the egg to get it used to the sound when she does it.
about you?
Good. Very good. You're a quick learner. Now just keep playing that melody.
For how long?
Until I say you can stop.
But I gotta sleep sometime. I mean, I can hardly keep my eyelids open as it is. I'm so damn tired.
I wouldn't stop if I were you. 'Cause if you do, I'm gonna come back here and break every one of your fingers. Now let's hear some music. Just beautiful.
But to hatch the egg, she needs a boatload of core, which she has her gang start excavating from the mines. Throughout this whole endeavor, the Vault Hunters are in tow, killing some of her best lieutenants and even prime devils she'd come to tame. The Vault Hunters manage to chase them all the way to the company facility, although Rose manages to teleport enough core to a station the company had out in space, and moonshot it down directly onto the egg. This core bomb was enough to hatch the egg exactly as she wanted. But before she has the time to enjoy the spoils of her labor, she's forced to fight the Vault Hunter, to which she loses but is not killed. She instead uses her whistle to command the Ruiner, successfully. The Ruiner, however, is killed, but as for Rose, she disappeared. She used the cover of the debris the Ruiner caused to make her escape, and no one knows what happened to her. But one thing's for certain, she was right. Without her, the rest of the Devil Riders fell apart, and the planet of Gehenna didn't have to worry about the gang anymore. But for now, that does it for the history of Rose. Like I said, not everything was explicitly clear in regards to her ability to control devils. There could still be something else, like something literally in her blood. I just tried my best to form a cohesive story in a way that made sense. If there are any other characters you'd like to see me do the history of, then be sure to let me know in the comments below, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.